All right, welcome. Today, we are going to dig into a really powerful idea. What if the way we think about failure is completely backwards? What if it's not the end, but actually the engine that drives success? So let's just start with this one question. We've all been taught that success and failure are total opposites, right? You either win or you lose. But what if that's not true at all?
Yeah, what if failure isn't the roadblock that stops you in your tracks? What if it's the actual fuel, the very thing that powers the whole journey to success? That's the big idea we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so first things first, we have to tear down a myth that we've all been sold our entire lives. Society has a very specific and very wrong idea about what it means to fail. And this right here just lays it all out, doesn't it? The myth is that success is this clean, straight line to the top. But the reality? Oh, it's so much messier. It's a cycle. You act, you make a mistake, you learn, and you correct your course. Failure isn't the final grade. It's just data. That's it. Now let's get into the science of it, because this isn't just some feel-good philosophy. Your brain is literally biologically hardwired to learn from its mistakes. In fact, it actually needs you to fail. Avoiding failure starves your brain of the exact information it needs to get stronger. It all comes down to this amazing thing called a prediction error signal. Think of it like a biological alarm bell in your head. When you expect one thing to happen and something totally different happens, when you fail, this signal fires off. It floods your brain with chemicals that basically scream, "Hey, pay attention, something went wrong here and we need to figure it out now."
So here's how it works, step by step. You set an expectation, you take an action, and whoops, it doesn't work out. That's the failure. Then your brain triggers that prediction error alarm we just talked about. And this is the magic part. Step 5, your brain is forced to build new, stronger connections. You are literally, physically rewiring your brain to be smarter with every single mistake.
Okay, so we've got the biology down, but to really make this work for you, there's a huge psychological shift you have to make. And this brings us to the incredible work of a Stanford psychologist named Dr. Carol Dweck. So, Dweck found that people basically have one of two mindsets. With a fixed mindset, you believe your talents are set in stone. Failure is a final judgment, so you avoid challenges to avoid failing. But with a growth mindset, you see your abilities as things you can grow. Failure isn't a verdict, it's just part of the learning process. It's the difference between I failed because I'm not smart and I failed because I haven't figured it out. And that brings us to maybe the single most powerful word in this whole conversation, yet. Just adding that one little word changes everything. I can't do this is a dead end, but I can't do this yet. Well, that's a journey. It's the key to everything. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But let's look at some proof from the real world, where the absolute legends, the most successful people and companies, actively use failure as a tool. Take James Dyson. 5,126. Just let that number sink in. That's how many prototypes of his vacuum failed. For him, these weren't failures, they were data points. Each one taught him another way not to build a vacuum, which got him one step closer to the one that worked. Or how about J.K. Rowling? 12 different publishers looked at Harry Potter and said, nope, not interested. Her success wasn't just about the story she wrote. It was about her resilience, her ability to hear no 12 times and keep believing in a yes. And you know what? This isn't just about gritty individuals. The whole philosophy of modern innovation, especially in places like Silicon Valley, is built on this idea. Fail fast, fail cheap. It's not about being reckless. It's a strategy. It's about learning as quickly as you possibly can. Because the only failure that really kills you is the big one you don't see coming. And the main tool they use for this is what's called a minimum viable product, or an MVP. Basically, instead of spending years perfecting something, you release the simplest possible version to see if people want it. If it fails, great. You've learned a priceless lesson quickly and cheaply, and now you can pivot. In this world, failure isn't a bug in the system, it's a built-in feature. So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway? How do you actually put this new way of thinking to work in your own life? It really boils down to these 4 new rules. Number 1, failure is not an outcome, it's a process. 2, remember your brain is literally designed to grow from your mistakes. 3, you got to embrace the incredible power of yet. And 4, stop taking failure personally. Start treating it like what it is, valuable, objective data.
Look, at the end of the day, if you remember one thing, let it be this. Failure is not a reflection of who you are or what you're capable of. It doesn't define your potential. It is simply a vital, necessary, and powerful part of your process.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought. We've established that failure isn't the brakes, it's the engine. So the question isn't if you'll fail, it's what you'll do with it. So now that you know failure is your engine, where are you going to let it take you?